Yo, 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 what up, everybody? YouTube Lab, how's it going? This is yours truly, Rama Screen. And I don't have my water with me. Where is my bottled water? Hold on, I need to get bottled water because I'm I'm really thirsty right now. I'll be right back. Ah. All right, now I got my water, so I won't be purged. As you can see from the thumbnail, it's a spoiler full video. So this video review is only for those of you, my fellow Mandalorian fans, who have also watched today's episode. So if you don't want spoilers, look away. But then again, the thumbnail image already gives it away. Nothing tastes better than good, clean, healthy water. Precious, my precious. Alright, so okay, let's just cut to the chase here. Let's talk about the big this is the season 2 finale. Let's talk about the big reveal, right? And then we'll go to the other bullet points. So Luke Skywalker shows up, and as you can see, it's the digitalized, the de-aging technology. And it's the same trick that they use in Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Remember the 2016 movie? By the end of it, you saw Leia, young Leia, but it's not really Leia, it's some other actress, but they digitize Leia's face onto her. And so I don't know who the guy is who plays this Luke Skywalker. Might be Mark Hamill. But if you ask me for my opinion, it looks creepy as hell. You could tell, just watch the episode again, the way the mouth kind of moves, like, oh. I mean, I thought I was watching the movie the Polar Express all over again, you know, the one with Tom Hanks. It's like, so I'm sorry. I guess as advanced as this digital de-aging technology is, I guess in for this case alone, it's not advanced yet. It's not advanced enough. You know what I'm saying? It's not to the point where we need it to be. All right, real quick here. Let me double check before I go any further into the next bullet points. Yes. Okay. It's not advanced yet. So that's my thoughts about it. I mean, yes, it's cool to see Luke Skywalker wielding lightsaber, killing off dark troopers. You know, that whole sequence was nicely done. But let's face it, that was Deus Ex Machina all over again. Ariel, this is a spoiler video, so look away. Every time I do a review after episode already airs, it's a spoiler review. So, yeah, as fun as that sequence was, it's another Deus Ex Machina. It's another moment of like a higher power or a savior sweeping in to save the day in the nick of time at the last minute. And I'm like, the Mandalorian is just not very subtle at it with this frequent use of like, somebody save me, somebody save me. I'm like, dude, can I just have one episode where the heroes get themselves out of their situation by themselves without somebody else sweeping in? So yeah, I'm a little torn apart about the season 2 finale. Definitely not fall in love with it, but you know, not completely hate it either. It's one of those cases. Before I go any further, I just want to say, I just want to give a shout out, not say, shout out of rest in peace, R.I.P. to the late great Jeremy Bulloch. He's the guy who originally played Boba Fett As you know, Boba Fett shows up on this series, played by Temuera Morrison, and so it's bittersweet. Today's episode was bittersweet. You know, because Jeremy Bulloch died earlier today on the cusp of us waiting for the season finale, and you know, so yeah, Jeremy Bulloch played the physical Boba Fett. Somebody else voiced him, kind of like Pedro Pascal with the Mandalorian. You know, most of the time it's somebody else playing him. Pedro Pascal just dubs his voice in, except for today's episode, of course. So that other guy who voiced original Boba Fett already passed away, I think, 5 years ago. The name escapes me right now. The name escapes me. But Jeremy Bulloch died today, so we gotta acknowledge that. And may he rest in peace. Thank you, Jeremy, for helping make Boba Fett the unforgettable icon that we have come to know and love. So this is a reunion. The season 2 finale is a big reunion. Bo-Katan is back. Sasha, WWE wrestler. What's her character's name? Let me get her. Koska. There you go. Koska. Bo-Katan's back. Koska's back. Of course, Moff Gideon. And of course, Ming-Na Wen. And everybody. I'm mixing the real name with the character's name. I know. I'm sorry. But it's cool to see everybody back. And I gotta be... Before I get any further, I just want to say that it must be nice to be Giancarlo Esposito, you know? The guy who plays Moff Gideon. Because he's the bad guy on The Mandalorian. He's the bad guy on Breaking Bad. Well, even though Breaking Bad's already gone long ago. And he's the bad guy on The Boys. Amazon Prime Video series The Boys. I'm like, this guy, Giancarlo, I mean, he's got a sweet gig. You gotta... You gotta hand it to him. Like, everybody wants a piece of him to be a villain in their project. So, really cool. Really cool. Let's talk a bit about Dark Troopers. Holy crap. Dude, those things are scary. I told you, like, last week or the week before. I mean, dude, these guys are just like freaking T-1000s, man, so invincible. And one of them had a moment on today's episode against Mando, and my heart was just like pounding for Mando, man, because there were moments when, like, it seems that Mando could not get the upper hand. I mean, whatever he throws at this T-1000 Dark Trooper, the Dark Trooper keeps like coming back at him again and again and again. I was like, oh my god, is he gonna die here? Is this the end of Mando as we know it? Luckily, that's not the case. See, but that's cool. You know, Mando got himself out of that situation by himself. You know, there's no Luke Skywalker saving Mando from the trooper at that moment, or in that scene. I like that. I like that better. So, and the whole episode today are also very cinematic, very movie-like, and it's directed by Peyton Reed. You may know him as the director of Ant-Man movies, Ant-Man and the Wasp. So, really nicely done. I mean, it's like watching a movie, definitely. I know I know you can say that about a lot of the episodes of The Mandalorian. But today's episode specifically, it really feels very cinematic. And so, and Pedro Pascal shows his face again. And this is I know I didn't stay for the post-credit scene. Some people say like, hey Rama, go rewatch it again. There's a post-credit scene. I'll rewatch it again. After this, I'll rewatch it again and check out the post-credit scene. But this episode is also a farewell episode, or a goodbye episode to Grogu, to Baby Yoda. And you know what? I think, if you ask my opinion, I'm glad. I'm glad that we've come to this point. I think they should not drag the whole Grogu Baby Yoda thing onto season 3 and you know, subsequent seasons. 2 seasons is more than enough. 2 seasons are more than enough to tackle Baby Yoda. So let's move on to another arc, to another journey, to another thing that Mando has to tackle. So then, because then we won't have to get to the point where like, oh no, another journey with Baby Yoda again. So as adorable as Grogu is, I think it's good that the writers, or at least Jon Favreau, because he's the writer, it's good that Jon Favreau has drawn the line. It's like, okay, this is it. This is where we stop that part. This is where we stop that part of the journey. And you could, oh man, it got me the feels, man. When Pedro Pascal, going all teary-eyed, come on, Pedro Pascal is a badass, okay? It would take a lot to get Pedro Pascal teary-eyed like that. So I was like, oh dang it, Pedro Pascal's crying. No, now you got me crying too. Damn it. I'm not crying, you're crying. Oh my god. So yeah, very action-packed. Great season 2 finale in my opinion. And yeah, I'm gonna tie it back again to Luke Skywalker, and this is my last note again. The whole digitizing the face, de-aging, sometimes it works, in some of the cases with Marvel movies like Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer looking young in Ant-Man sequel. And sometimes it doesn't work, like Leia in Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, or this one, Luke Skywalker. This just looks so creepy and off. It just like when the mouth moves like that, it doesn't look organic or natural. You can tell it's like, I don't know. It's like it's just so obvious, the computer of it. you know a trick, or a visual effects works when you can't tell them apart anymore. When it works, or that it is effective when you can't tell where it ends and where it begins. You know what I'm saying? Where the computer ends and where the live action ends. Where the computer ends and where the live action begins. So that's when you know that the trick works. One minute, one short of that, it'll be so obvious, just like today's episode. So I get what they're going for, and this show does bank on a lot of nostalgia and bringing your favorite characters, and they're like, what, for the season 2 finale we're just gonna go all out, pull out the stops and bring back Luke Skywalker. I get it. That's what this show banks on, nostalgia. I get it, but it's not their best effort. It is not their best effort. Now, if you ask me, like, okay, so where is Luke bringing Grogu to? Are we gonna see more of Luke in season 3? I don't know. The answer to that is I don't know. That depends on Jon Favreau and his team. But yeah, now I've told you my complaints about the Mandalorian, the Deus Ex Machina, the saving savior, higher power coming at the last minute. And I've told you what I love about this show as well. Pretty much for all the same reasons why you love the show too, probably. So, yeah, great season 2 finale. Can't wait for season 3. I don't know when they're gonna film it though. With all this pandemic, we'll see. Hopefully it works. Okay. Steven Gemona is here, said, I don't know, it's just me, but I did not enjoy this episode at all. We had so much Luke content, and I would have loved a small Jedi or something to help. The fight, in my opinion, felt really easy too. Yeah, that's what I meant, Steven. It just, well, with the exception of the fight between Mando and that Dark Trooper, that duel was pretty tough in my opinion. The fight between Mando and Moff Gideon, not so much. I grant you that. That you can categorize as easy. But easy is also like when you're cornered, and somebody else had to save your ass. And that happens a lot on this show. It's just like the hobbits, the giant eagles had to save their ass, while they're dangling there. So you can file that also under easy. So and the Luke, I get your argument though. I think if your argument says that Luke has been kind of played out, Luke everywhere's Luke Skywalker, Star Wars is Luke Skywalker essentially. I get it, and I think an argument can be made that them bringing Luke Skywalker at the end of today's episode, it's just a cheap marketing ploy. You know what I'm saying? You know what? They should have brought back, instead of Luke. You know what would have been better? It would have been better if it was Ahsoka Tano, right? Rosario Dawson coming back, killing those dark troopers. That would have been much sweeter, and it would make more sense because we've seen Ahsoka in this season. There's an episode, so it's not just like, it doesn't seem like a gimmick or a cheap marketing ploy, like, oh, let's bring back Luke Skywalker so that Luke Skywalker can be trending on Twitter, which I'm sure, if you see Twitter, Luke Skywalker is trending on Twitter, and everybody's like, oh my god, that meme with Jonah Hill, oh my god, because that's all they talk about. Oh my god, the Mandalorian brought back Luke Skywalker, and that'll be the headline. That's the only headline that's gonna be around for right now in the next 24 hours. So yes, it is sort of like a cheap marketing ploy, marketing gimmick, if you will. And it would have been better if it had been Ahsoka Tano who showed up instead. It would have made more sense. So let's see here. I don't know if you went over this, but if Rey was the last Jedi because Kylo Ren killed all the younglings, does that mean Kylo kills Grogu? Oh, You know what? I don't know the answer to that question, but that is a good question. I'll leave that to the rest of you guys if you can answer Varsity's question there. It's something to think about. Conundrum this is. Who else here has a good point? There's a reason why Boba had to leave at the beginning. He's blown up 2 Death Stars. Luke Skywalker. Okay, yeah. But yeah, thank you for that, for bringing up that point, Varsity. So that's it. Those are all the thoughts that I have on my bullet point. Great season 2 finale, but flawed. It was flawed. All right, it's not perfect season 2 finale. The near perfect episode was the episode with Ahsoka Tano, with Rosario Dawson. That was fantastic. I mean, I rewatch it again and again. I try to find flaws within it. I was like, no, I couldn't. This is a great episode. I mean, like, really, really awesome, like flawless. Whereas this one, it has weaknesses. So, okay. One last thing before I log out. Raja Arya, I enjoyed this episode so much. Yes, Raja Arya, thank you for chiming in. Key Force, so does Grogu end up dying according to the sequel trilogy? I don't know. Well, I'll throw that I'll throw that question to the rest of you guys. What do you guys think about this question? But let me reiterate again. After 2 seasons of Grogu or 2 seasons of Baby Yoda, yeah, I think you and I can agree that we've had enough. We've had enough of we've had enough of like Baby Yoda stealing the thunder away from Mando. I think it's about time that Mando's journey be about something else or be about someone else. Enough babysitting for Mando. We don't want 10. We don't want 10 seasons of that. All right. So if you want to see Baby Yoda again or Grogu again, then purchase the merchandise. All right. I hear that it's like one of the best selling items this holiday season. Like it's like flying off the shelf on Amazon or something like that. Like Baby Yoda doll, Grogu doll. You know? So go check it out. Okay. That's how you'll see them. Him. I'm not sorry. So that's it. Those are the thoughts that I have. Thank you so much for chiming in, all you guys who are on the chat. And for those of you who didn't get to chime in, do you agree or disagree with my assessment, especially with my thoughts about the digital Luke Skywalker, which is, again, looks kind of creepy and it just doesn't work. The computer here just the CG here, the digital, the VFX on that character on today's episode, it just comes up short to me, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, they could have done so much better, or maybe the technology hasn't gone there yet, or it hasn't advanced that far yet, and this is as best as they could do. But the best as they could do just did not look good. In my opinion. So do you agree or disagree with my thoughts about that? And do you have theories or questions, or what's your theories as to what's going to happen in season 3? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And as always, subscribe, and subscribe. May the force be with you. Let's rock this.